Hello, everybody, and welcome to the collective session 68 on oh, on the 18th of September, 2022. Our last session was on August 14th, 2022, and the events of said session are as follows. So, after meeting with Rosani's mother and several of the other elvish occupants of the fort, the party returned to the encampment staged by Duke Brolin. As they entered the encampment, they noticed that Rosani's and the rest of the party's actions had gathered quite a crowd of the militiamen of Magnolia who had clumped together outside of the entrance of the fort, witnessing and watching the divine miracles set forth by Rosani in the group's ascent towards the encampment. The group heard hushed whispers of incredulity at what they had just seen, but rather than engage with them, Rosani simply parted the sea of individuals to find herself a secluded area in which to rest after the emotionally exhausting interaction with her. The rest of the party followed closely behind her, eventually finding her having taken a seat outside of the old dilapidated tower, which was serving as the main base of operations in the encampment. I see by Bulow's no bitches look that he wants me to say ramshackle, and I will. As the Burden sat outside of the tower, and Kevril entered the tower to speak with Duke Brolin and give them the easy facts on what had just occurred. They walked in to hear a small snippet of some philosophical musing by the Duke before he turned to them, applauded them for their work that he had watched from the tower, and asked them what they had learned. As mentioned before, Gorn gave him the easy facts that they had ascended to the fort, that they had met with the elves, and that they were taking some time to discuss amongst themselves whether or not they would engage in diplomacy with the Lords of Magnolia. The two further discussed the situation, with Brolin indicating that he had some inkling of the relationship between Rosani and Elian, though he made no substantiated claims, and asked to speak with her and the rest of the party to provide them with lodgings and to keep them close at hand for when and if they received a message from the elves in the fort. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the tower, Otis and Roscoe attempted to assess Rosani's mood, with Otis embracing Rosani in a... I'll just read what I wrote verbatim in my notes. Quote, "They hug long." End quote. But it was at least somewhat successful in comforting Rosani before Brolin, Gorn, and Kevril descended down the steps and met with them. Brolin applauded the rest of the group once more and was not particularly pushy about what he had seen, instead offering them lodgings nearby. Meanwhile, Rosani, while before this had happened, had also taught some of the group two elvish phrases. "We mean no harm." Two phrases that are shockingly phonetically similar, having very opposite meanings in the language. The group were brought outside of the encampment to a small old farmhouse near the base of the valley. Prior to this, of course, on the journey over, Otis made a point to hug every new individual that he met, including Duke Brolin, who made some interesting observations about the cold metal exterior of Otis during their hug, though he said nothing. The group met with Robert, the owner of the farmhouse, who was very happy to hear that they had come to assist the city with their elf problem, and that they were that he would happily allow them to stay in his farmhouse while he and his two boys stayed at their aunt's house. Upon the mention of the two boys, the group saw two young boys come out. One a boisterous, red-headed young boy, and another a smaller, mousy-looking boy named Stevie, whom Roscoe recognized as his quarry given to him by his divine patron Phaedrid to acquire an instrument for. As the group met with the others, they watched as Stevie pulled out a small, strange box device with a crank and a slot for a sphere atop it, as well as a large old brass horn, which, upon seeing it, Otis seemed to glitch out. And from his very being, lights began to flash and an old, crackly, static sound began to emanate as the group listened to a strange old audio recording seemingly from Otis's past. The familiar voice once heard before of Neilbert Westerfeld, Otis's supposed creator, as well as other details including parts from Sutton Hold, students from a university, Neilbert's sister, and the aforementioned playbox, which Otis seemingly very much enjoyed. With the recording concluding, the rest of the group looked around confused, as this had only happened once before, and realized that clearly this device that Stevie held had triggered such a reaction. Gorn, on the other hand, already plagued by a sense of unease descent from the hill, once more lost focus upon hearing the oddly familiar voice. Record view. Title. Playbox. At the beginning of Otis's recording. And as he heard those words from that strange voice, his gaze peered towards the distant forest rising above him at the top of the river valley, his focus narrowing upon it as his heart faster, and the visions of the world around him began to fade before the one good arm of Duke Brolin snapped him out of his strange trance. Happy to let the group rest in his farmhouse. I'm going to start the event on Discord, by the way. I always forget to do that. Robert and his two boys left down the road to go to the aforementioned aunt's house, while the rest of the group was left with Brolin to make themselves comfy at Robert's farmhouse. During this time, the group split into three and engaged in various things, with Kevril, Flint, and Otis heading back to the encampment to speak with the quartermaster and to have Otis polished, something which took several hours but eventually revealed that Otis had been covered in a thick layer of rust and that his true color was a shiny stainless silver metal. Roscoe, Rosani, and Cedric chose instead to investigate the farmhouse, with Roscoe searching around Stevie's room to find that the boy had almost nothing in terms of personal effects. Very strange for a boy of his age not to have any sort of hobby or personal item. Finally, Cedric, allowing the other two to rest and search around inside of the farmhouse, retired to a nearby field where he could change his clothes and shed his old skin to assume the form of DeLorean. House to become so that he could act as the previously mentioned elven diplomat to help with the coming peace talks. Gorn, split from the rest of the group, returned to the encampment and, saddling up his horse, rode north and up atop the hill to investigate the strange feelings that he experienced upon looking at the forest. He rode to the top of the forked road upon which the party first entered the city, and stepping off his horse, peered deep into the rows and rows of towering trees. And while he still felt a certain sense of unease and a tenuous grip upon his reality, there was nothing there. No one, nothing at all to pique his interest. Dissatisfied by this, he returned to the encampment. Returned to the encampment, dropped off his horse, and then headed to the farmhouse further into the... Finally, quote, Kevral meets DeLorean, it is strange, end quote. Are there any questions before we begin?
Didn't you have what's the spell? Cedric
Clairvoyance, that's coming.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Can you play a test sound for me?
Yeah, absolutely can. Why don't I play some rain for you?
I can indeed hear it.
Wonderful.
Oh.
Can you hear it through my TV? Wait, play it again.
Not at all.
Lovely.
And even if we could, we'd probably hear the actual audio input more than your background.
Yeah. Okay, sweet.
So, okay. Are there any other questions before we begin?
No.
Fantastic. All right, everyone. Then here we are in session 68 of the Collective on September 18th, 2022. You have all engaged in your various individual tasks, with Otis being polished by the quartermaster with Flint and Kevral, Roscoe, Rosani, and Cedric investigating the farmhouse. Go ahead.
Siggins, you don't need to stream for me anymore. No, thank you. Oh?
Siggins? You're muted, too.
You're muted.
Yeah, I'm muted. I know. There we go.
All right. Anyways.
Appreciated.
And Gorn having had an unfruitful investigation of the forest to your north. At this point, you have all turned to farmhouse. It is late in the day, and though the sun still hangs lowly in the sky above the horizon, you look to the west and you see the dark storm clouds are brewing. Large and bubbling over you. They are not particularly far away, and it seems like Magnolia is due for one of the plane's famous powerful windstorms, after which it has its name. You have perhaps an hour until the sun sets beneath the horizon and night takes Magnolia. Is there anything any of you would like to do before you take a long rest? And DeLorean, I will get to you.
Not sure if there's much we could do outside of the farmhouse in only an hour.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I don't have anything.
I think I'd
You guys could
appreciate
throw
the extra
rocks
rest.
back and forth.
We could.
You throw
Do you want
rocks
to
at
throw
rocks.
rocks back and forth?
Mm.
That would make you feel.
Are we?
I mean,
Oh, okay. We're prepping for the long rest then, like as in.
That is correct, yes.
Can I try and commune with Bjorn? Perchance?
You absolutely may. Would you like to find a secluded area? Where are you going to do this?
Yeah, a secluded area would do.
Okay. All right. Gorn, you look around and see the rest of the party is gathering in and around the farmhouse. At this point, everyone has seen the storm clouds brewing on the horizon, and they are preparing for the rainstorm. you decide to find a secluded area, and you begin to walk a ways down the road, past several people who are clutching their things tightly as the wind begins to pick up, and they hurriedly head home before the heavens break open. Or after some time, 15-20 minutes of walking, you park yourself near a break in the fence between a soybean and a barley field. There's a large rock nearby and a couple of old, withered trees that have been hollowed out by age and time.
Lovely. Can I sit in the rock?
You absolutely may.
All right. I'm gonna sit down, cross-legged on the rock, and put my maul over my legs, like laid across it.
Okay.
And then, I guess I'll put one hand on like my tattoo/scar, and other hand on the maul,
Okay.
and intently focus with the locus of guidance. That's what I'm searching for.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a religion check for me.
Can do. Let me bring up my stat sheet first. Man, I wish I had a little better religion. But that's okay. Alright, first roll of the sesh. Yeah. It's gonna be a 4.
Oh,
A 4.
Get it out of the way now.
Okay. What do you say or think anything specifically?
I kind of have, Gordon kind of has, this feeling of unease with the, I don't know, vague memories kind of bubbling to the surface in the last 24 hours, or the last couple hours rather, and is a little frightened of what could be looming on the horizon. So just trying to kind of channeling those questions into, I don't think he says anything specific. He's just waiting for a sign that, because I don't think that they have talked since the arm, so.
Yes.
Which has only been a day or two. Regardless, I think it would be a good time to check in and to see if, not only if Gorn can get something out of this, but also to see if Gorn's okay.
Okay. Gorn,
I'm just like reaching out to him.
Yeah. Gorn, you sit cross-legged atop the rocks for some time. But given how scattered and uneasy your mind has been these past 2 days, you find it incredibly difficult to focus on any one idea. In fact, you feel so many different things at this time that it's hard to pinpoint anything, much less present it beyond your realm. You sit there and focus, the different thoughts jumping through your mind before finally you latch onto something, just a simple thought. Bjorn, are you there? Very broad, very easy to focus on, not complex in any way. And you focus and focus, and you begin to feel something as there's a slight warmth, a tightness in your chest upon your breast where the mark is. And as you begin to feel something, a few acorns scatter off from the rock next to you and completely break your concentration. You look up and you see long black feathers of a raven that is hopped up on a tall branch above you.
I scowl and I pick up my things and walk away from the rock, angry and frustrated.
You pick yourself up, and as you walk away, you hear it. "Ah." It flies away, and then you chance a glance back, and you watch as a few others flap away from the tree as well, at first unseen to you, but clearly perched in the tree along with the one that broke your concentration. Yes.
I head back to encamped. And that's all I've got for the evening.
All right. DeLorean.
Hello.
Placing yourself into a nearby room to grant yourself concentration for your spell casting, you focus on the glass eye that one of your other personas purchased from the strange oddities shop owner in Paradine at the Triangle Market. You place the eye upon head, close your own eyes while casting the ritual elements of the spell, and you see within the first building, the easternmost building of the fort. Within this building, you see rows upon rows of shoddy, kind of stitched together bedrolls held up by sticks and branches. There are several different figures lying in the beds all around you. Many are covered in old tartan sheets, burlap, seemingly anything that could be found in this building. But what few are not covered, you can tell clearly are injured in some way.
Okay.
In fact, go ahead and roll a medicine check for me.
I pull these out from under my blessed D20. Alrighty. 16.
16. Okay. DeLorean, you peer a little closer at the nearest on one of the cots, and at first it is very apparent that this person has been. However, looking closer at the injuries from the vantage point that you do have, you see that not every injury upon this person's body is a burn, and though most are, there are a few scattered injuries along this elven woman's leg and lower torso. The flesh is blackened, much like a burn. But it is no flame that inflicted this. Instead, it looks as if the flesh was rotted away, the life from its very being sucked out of it.
Okay.
Do you continue to watch inside this building?
I think I'll spend like maybe a minute of the time just looking around, looking for things of interest like that. And if there's nothing else, I'll cancel the spell and move to the next one.
Okay. All right. You watch in the infirmary, and there's
Is this black box or room?
sort
building?
of. It's kind of blown out.
Okay.
You
we'll
could
skip that
probably see it from the outside.
one. Okay, never mind then.
Okay. So you wait for some time watching inside the infirmary, as there is very little activity within. You cannot hear anything, of course. But just as you're about to stop observing this room, you watch as the door swings open. It startles a couple of the injured elves within the encampment, or within the infirmary, excuse me, but for the most part, very few of them stir at the intrusion. You look, and you see Rosani's mother, clearly upset, perhaps, at something. And then behind her, the other elven man who accompanied her and who had previously grabbed Cedric and nearly killed him.
Nah, not even close.
He speaks some quick words in Elvish, and she seemingly retorts at him. She is clearly unhappy, and him similarly. This only lasts for a few seconds before, boom, she closes the door upon him, immediately looks around, rolls up her sleeves, goes over to a nearby barrel and procures medical supplies, and starts to treat the injured within the infirmary. The other man does not enter. And are you going to spend the remaining?
So the other guy leaves.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to. So he walks out the door. I'm gonna try to get an idea of which building he's going out or going to, based on like the path that he takes out the door. From what little I could see out the door.
Go ahead
If any.
and roll perception.
21.
21. So- Okay. All right. Though Elian slams the door on him, and he makes very little indication of where he is going to go afterwards, you are able to catch a glimpse of him heading towards the middle building through a nearby window.
Heading towards the middle building.
That's correct.
Okay. I think I'm fucked here anyway, because if I cancel the spell, it takes me 10 whole minutes to cast it again. So I'm gonna spend like another minute watching Rosani's mom. See if anything interesting happens.
Okay. For the most part,
And I'll sort of, if she's using medicine to heal people, I'll sort of like take notes like, oh, that herb does that thing.
right, okay. Yeah.
Try to get something out of it.
Yeah, sure. You watch as Rosani's mother, Elian, clearly still upset, but wanting to get away from whatever that was, begins to tend to the occupants of the infirmary. She does little else other than assist them for the remaining time that you watch.
You know what? I'm gonna keep watching for the full 10 minutes until she leaves.
The full 10 minutes pass, and she is
she doesn't leave.
still assist. In fact, it takes her some time to help just one or
Okay.
two of them.
I will recast it on the center hut then.
Okay, and it takes you 10 minutes to do so.
10 whole minutes.
All right. You cast clairvoyance once again on the center building, and you see that this building, though broken and its roof caved in, has clearly been converted into a sort of almost a bedroom.
Mm.
There are a couple of tables and actual beds inside of here, as well as several bags of probably personal belongings. There are a few long green cloaks that have been hung upon the broken rafters. The man is there. You see him pacing around the room for some time.
Alright, I'm sorry. Very rudely have to interrupt. I have to go jump my dad's car. I
Okay.
understand the timing could not be worse.
Yes, it couldn't, but that's okay.
Can you just, like, go on to the next morning and then we'll flash back?
Yeah, we absolutely can.
DeLorean sleeps in. Thank you.
All right. Everybody else, then, you are preparing for a long rest.
Oh, I'm prepared, Billy.
All right.
I'm ready to sleep.
So what kind of sleeping amenities do we have in this place? Obviously, we have the houses.
Yes.
The 3 beds. I assume there's 3 beds. The father.
You have a total of 3 straw cots, 1 large and 2 small. There are a couple of scattered chairs and a single rickety table, and probably enough floor space for bedrolls. There are also reasonable provisions, nothing of any superb quality, but the similar dark, rich bread that you had in the church, a couple of dried river fish, and various other, like, preserved vegetables.
Okay.
All right. I think so. I'm okay with taking the floor. I got no problem with that.
I was gonna take the floor as well.
Rosani, I think you deserve a bed.
Why?
You've gone through a lot of shit. I'm just saying. You don't look a gift horse in the mouth. You should take a bed. I'm offering you a bed.
Floor, but deal.
He's not going to take a bed. I don't care about the other people, so I'm going to take one of the smaller beds that I can squeeze in.
Okay.
Damn.
Oh, y'all can't fit smaller beds anyway.
You see Otis looks over at all of you. I would like to try one of these beds.
Has he not already tried one at the estate?
He is stood
No,
on
he's
top
always
of
been
a
on the chair.
chair.
Oh.
Otis, why don't you go try out a bed?
Bro, what the fuck just happened?
You lost connection.
You're disconnected.
My PC just turned off. It literally just turned off.
Epic.
How are you still in this on your phone?
I'm on my laptop.
Okay.
Well, that's fucking bogus. I'm near the power strip. I could have touched it. What the fuck? Did our power just cut out?
Looks
Sorry.
bright to me. Siggins,
Yeah.
why don't you have a backup stream ready?
Yeah, I'll just
I
keep,
have
I'll just
no
keep
idea
it
why that
running.
just happened.
Okay.
Old computer
There you
goes. It doesn't actually go burr. It barely does.
I'll just keep my stream running
Well,
if you're
You try
use it
and
as you need.
you try and rejoin, and why don't you play number 1 for me, Bulow?
Hey, wait.
It's number 1 rain.
Perhaps.
Brain.
It's rain.
Okay. Anyways, you see Otis. All right. Sleep well. And he departs to sleep. The big bed.
Oh, of course he takes the fucking big bed.
I would also assume that DeLorean also takes a bed. Is what
The
I would just assume he would do.
the beds are small, but we'll say that DeLorean tries to cram into one. Yes, that seems DeLorean-y.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
You-
take Stevie's.
okay.
I'm too big for bed.
Or are you just gonna
So
sleep?
I'll
in
sleep
the
on the
main
ground.
Okay. You guys begin to prepare your accommodations as you hear a distant rumble of thunder in the west. And you see showers fall hill, maybe a couple miles away. It seems the storm has broken open a little early, but it's clearly going to hit soon. Rosani and Gorn, the two of you begin preparing your bedrolls, but Gorn, every once in a while you can't help but glance up at a nearby window pointing to the northwest.
Okay.
You look and stop and look again, and
Winder.
after a moment you stop what you are doing completely, and you feel compelled to look out through the window.
Okay. What
Do
do
you
I?
do you
I
see
look out the
anything?
window.
Sorry.
I was just trying to ask Gordon, what's out there? Is something there?
Yeah, Rosani, you watch as Gorn just kind of almost mechanically steps over to the window. And Gorn, you see it.
It.
The trees. The forest.
Okay.
It's looming over you even here. And the window provides a perfect little painting of it.
Is it pretty or is it scary?
It's not very... In most circumstances, it would be pretty. But in this case, given the last couple of days, you feel very uneasy that even here inside, it seems to be looking at you. Of course, it can't do that. It's a forest. They're just trees.
Yeah.
But still, it's there.
Hmm. Is there shutters or blinds of any sort?
Yes, you see that there's a pair of old, moth-eaten blinds.
I'd like to pull them tightly closed across the window.
You do so.
What was that?
Was there something outside? Did you?
No, nothing.
Are you sure?
I'm certain.
Okay.
I give a thumbs up and a nod.
I give a weary thunk.
Internally, though, I'm not feeling very nice. but I would like to mask that.
Internally, I doubt him very much.
Okay. All right. Do you all take a long rest?
Can I actually... Can I try and wait for Gorn to fall asleep? And then when it seems like he has, can I go up and, like, go check out and look out the window to see if I can see anything?
You absolutely may. Yes.
I would like to do that.
Okay.
Do I fall asleep?
Could you all put your blindfolds on for a moment?
Oh,
Good thing I'm not in tabletop.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead and unblindfold.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh.
nice.
Whoa.
Rosani.
The rain around us.
Rosani, after some time, the light in the little old farmhouse grows darker and darker and darker. The rest of the group has finally fallen asleep. Even Gorn seems to have, well, found tumultuous rest. He lightly tosses and turns. But other than that, it does not seem that he is overly disturbed. You sit alone with your thoughts for some time at what has recently occurred. The sound of rain echoes and pitter-patters on the old roof. The room is still.
Great. Can I quietly make my way over to the window?
Absolutely, you can. You make your way over to the window. Your now non-metal booted feet stepping lightly on the old creaky floorboards, but you head on over to the window and do you pull the curtains?
I'm going to, like, do just, like, a tiny bit so I can just, like, view out.
Okay.
But anybody from outside wouldn't really be able, and if they tried to, they would literally just see my little face.
Okay. You do so. You peer just a little bit out, and you see through the storm and the occasional white flash of lightning. There is very little outside, save for the rain. You look and you see a hint of fencing and crops, trees of the but then peering up, you see atop the hill, only when the lightning flashes, the large timber line of the forest that you all emerged from when you entered the city. Could I have you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh, God. Okay.
Who is this?
Rosani.
Rosani.
Why does the tabletop look like this?
Because it's the
Ambiance.
middle of the night.
It's like hella dark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, oh man.
It's supposed to
Okay.
be like that.
Wisdom
This is rough.
saving throw 19.
A 19. Rosani, you stare into the trees for admittedly longer than you expected to. Thoughts of your mother and, well, everything lightly dancing through your mind. When you first arrived in Paradine, the terrible circumstances that led to your formation of the group. Calhoun, careless life and death, frozen in northern ice caps. Gorn's recent unexplained episodes, his dreams. It builds within you for a moment, and you feel it, well, frankly, to anyone else, it would be very overwhelming. And even to you, it is certainly overwhelming, but this time has steeled you, and you break away from staring at the forest and instinctually turn towards Gorn. You see he is still tossing and turning lightly in his sleep, though not much has changed about him otherwise.
Okay. Can I go over and like sit down by Gorn's head? And I'm not sure exactly what I'm trying to do or how I'm gonna do it, but the gist of it is I'm trying to do what Gorn did way back on the boat when he entered my mindscape, and I'm going to try to enter his mindscape. But not by screaming this time, just by like focusing and doing my, I don't know, cleric shit if I can.
Go ahead and roll a religion check.
11.
11. Rosani, you take your things, your holy symbols and whatnot, and place them around you, and focusing, you attempt to do the seemingly impossible. Enter Gorn's mindscape. A feat hitherto unattempted by mere mortals. You focus for some time and you struggle to make a connection. You think for a few moments that you've got him, but really you're not sure exactly what you're looking for. At one point you are filled with a great sense of unease, one that shocks you through your entire body for nearly just a moment before you open your eyes and you're back. You're not sure what that was, but it has broken your focus.
Okay. I love the beeping cars in the background. It's so nice.
That is actually Otis. You do hear the occasional sound of disc right in the other room.
Shit. Did before I go past, just a quick calm emotions on Gorn to try and see if it can kind of calm his rest.
Absolutely.
And then I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay.
Question:
Yeah.
Does passive perception work when you're sleeping?
That is your perception.
Yeah, sort of. Gorn.
Are these things that I would be
think
woken
I
up
think
by?
I read somewhere weird that like your passive perception while you're sleeping is just your passive perception -5. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't remember where I read that either.
I'll have to check the rules on that because I'm not sure. Gorn. Plip. Plop. Plip. Plop. The dripping sound of water from the leaky roof echoes noisily against the white noise of the storm outside and the otherwise mostly silent room. You've lain awake with your eyes closed for over an hour now. Your body and mind drained but unable to rest, as if preparing itself for some unseen foe. But that's crazy. There isn't anything out there. You made sure of it yourself. Why then are you so certain of being watched? The man from the forest. You can see flashes of him in your mind. Brief and blurred, but there. You imagine the window across from you, far past its place in the wall towards the distant forest, completely invisible to you, with the curtains drawn, but achingly, hauntingly present above the river valley. He's not real. And even if he is, somehow, you do not know him at all, he isn't real, he can't be. But then why then did he appear in your dream, and why does this unknown figure spark such a terrible sense of familiarity within you? You ruminate for a long time, your chest tight. You hear the footsteps of someone walking around the room quietly. Before they pause next to you and seat themselves down. Do you lie there, or do you attempt to interact with whoever this is?
Now, I would like to think that Gorn is the type of man to always be armed. Even in sleep.
You have your maul
Dagger?
near you.
Oh, my ball.
Oh my
hammer.
God.
It is placed.
I have a dagger.
It is placed on the ground near you. Yes.
But I don't have any other of my armaments near me.
That's correct.
Yeah, I'll open my eyes.
Okay. You hear a strange beeping sound from the other room of Otis.
He's snoring again.
And as your eyes open and they adjust to this, you see Donnie is turned towards you, muttering to herself, her things laid out, clearly attempting to do something to you.
And this is the attempted mindscape breaching.
It is after it.
Okay, this is the calm the emotions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just like gently put my hand on like her knee?
You absolutely may. Yes.
What? Didn't realize you were awake?
I look her directly in the eye. Zzz. Not just one. She's watching us. I stammer out.
She?
You should get some rest.
I was going to. But you seemed like you couldn't get much rest either, so I'm gonna try to, I don't know, calm you down. That maybe you might be able to.
I appreciate it, but I have no use for artificial emotion. I think I'll deal with this on my own. Thank you.
That's the thing, you don't have to. But if
That is my choice.
okay. Good night, Corn.
Good night. Close my eyes and flip over.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go to bed.
Play number 2.
Hold on. Fuck. Wait, hold on, don't play it yet. My tabletop's up.
Oh, okay.
See if it lets me join. It doesn't shut off my computer like last time.
That would suck. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck that happened. That was pretty random.
Brett, are you good? Are you crying?
No, I was rubbing my eye.
Oh.
Alright, I'll just play it on my PC while this loads. Tell me when to hit play.
Alright, play it on your PC. Alright, play it. You finally, after the fatigue of the day begins to take you and the monotonous sound of the rain lulls you into a tumultuous sleep. A loud clap of thunder rouses you from your sleep. You lay there, eyes closed, before you hear the noise of the front door creak open and the sound of the rain loudly pouring upon the ground. You feel a tightening in your chest and a warmth upon the flesh over your heart as its beats begins to accelerate.
Is this all of us or Gorn?
Just Gorn.
Okay.
Gorn, can you hear the music playing in this tabletop?
No.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay.
Just need to turn the volume up a bit.
You are sitting there with your eyes closed, lying on the ground, your heart beating in your chest with this warmth on your breast. your chest tight. You've just heard the front door creak open.
Am I able to perform action here?
What would you like to do?
Am I upright?
Would you like to
Not
be?
upright, but I would like to be. I would like to spring upright
Okay.
and place a hand.
You search through the darkness and grab the cold steel of your maul. You look. You see a dim, colorless light emanates from outside the door. Its source obscured to you without approaching closer. A quiet, frightened little hello can be heard muffled from beyond the opening.
I look around the room real quickly. Is anyone awake? Is anyone even there? Is Rosani still where she sleeps?
You peer around and it seems that everyone is fast asleep.
Oh, fuck. My PC just crashed again, didn't it? Oh, my.
Let's just
Maybe
not
so for you.
try tabletop for you.
Dude, I can't believe
Just-
my PC can't even run tabletop sim. This is terrible. I'm sorry.
Alright, do you
I don't
have
want to ruin the ambiance.
do you
yeah,
have
yeah,
your
yeah.
audio? Okay.
Yeah, it's on now.
So you look around and you see that no one else is awake. They're fast asleep. What do you
Okay. Sorry. I was just turning off my PC. I rise slowly and, brandish my maul, kind of shakily.
Okay. Yourself up off of the ground with your maul in hand. Do you approach the doorway?
The figure's in the doorway.
You cannot see the source of the dim light from where you stand.
I step closer to the doorway, but not breaching the entryway.
Okay. You step closer and are finally able to see outside of the door. Peering through it, you see a small little figure there. A young boy. No older than 10, but with a hard set of old eyes filled with terror. The boy is clad in battered light metal armor and blue robes ripped and torn, exposing bright red marks upon his flesh in the dim, obscured moonlight. He is cowering over something, whimpering, but you cannot quite see without stepping through the doorway.
I call out to the boy. Child, what's wrong?
He continues to quietly over the object. He pays no notice to your uttering.
Is my breast still feeling hot?
Hotter and tighter than it was before. A
I Sorry,
thin,
go ahead.
a thin, weak pain from the tightness in your chest begins to build, but it is endurable.
I step up to the doorway,
Okay.
right to the lip, and I touch my hand upon my breast. I'd like to try to send out another pulse or something of thought before I breach the doorway. asking if Bjorn's there.
You receive a response of sorts. A feeling of familiarity within your mind. Though how to interpret it is somewhat unclear to you. It is neither overly positive nor particularly negative.
Okay. I step through the doorway and approach the boy.
As you step through the doorway, you get a better sight of what the little boy is cowering over. The corpse of another young boy, maybe 2 years his senior, his body maimed, mangled. And you look up and see behind him the forest. The giant, twisted wooden figures rooted in the dark soil and towering above you, now not hundreds and hundreds of feet away, but mere dozens, as if it has crept up upon you in your sleep. Your chest grows tighter, and the warmth in your breast goes hotter before the lightning flashes once more. And looking around, you see a terrible pile of corpses scattered throughout the area, all in matching uniform to the boy. The bodies, 21 in total, are twisted, ripped and torn apart, some cleaved in twain, others crushed, their blood pooling beneath you and mixing with the rain.
I am feeling uneasy, to say the least. Feels I'm being tested. Is the boy armed?
He does not appear to be, no.
He has a cloak on, correct?
Yes.
Come here, boy. That doesn't sound right. Come, boy. There's shelter inside from the rain.
You hear him softly whimper, facing away from you still. Help me. Please help me.
Oh. Step closer.
We don't have much time. It's coming.
I'll defend you. You must be behind me.
Gorn.
Yes.
He turns around and looks at you with a terrible fear in his face. Jill, blindfold for a moment.
Do you need Beulah to see what's going on?
No.
Okay.
And you may unblindfold. Gorn. He looks at you with fear in his face. I need you to play number 3 now.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Hold on. Playing now.
Before speaking, help me. Please help me. She's lying. He isn't real. He begins to look around frantically as you begin to see the terrible dancing lights. Reds, blues, greens, yellows, flits floating around you before the sound of the rain grows into a hiss. Oh no! It's too late! Exclaims the boy before you see a formless mass of purple within the trees behind you. Barely humanoid, but with piercing eyes, whose dark black tendrils begin to slither their way out from all around you, grabbing the boy. You lock eyes with the monstrous form, but a moment and feel a stabbing pain within your chest, as if a red-hot brand was forced beneath your skin. Go ahead and play number 4.
Hold on.
You
Number
watch.
4 is playing.
You watch as the bodies begin to be stolen away from all around you by the black tendrils before the boy screaming is dragged into the darkness. What do you do? What do you do?
I fight. I go forward. Try to strike the beast.
You run to attempt to strike the beast, but before you can, it... You watch as the distance between you and the trees shoots out hundreds and hundreds of feet, and you look around and see black tendrils begin coming in towards you. Dozens, if not hundreds of them. There are too many to fight. What do you do?
I fight anyways.
You fight
I
anyways.
swing out. Swing out at the tendrils.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
I can't have dice. Fuck.
Somebody roll a
Dice.
wisdom saving throw for him. I'll roll it for you. What's your spell, or what's your save?
+1. Oh no, just kidding. +1.
+1. A 16. Gorn, you take your maul in your hand and prepare to fight. You swing at a few of them and manage to beat them back before more grab around your maul and rip it away. You peer once more into this terrible darkness, this amorphous blob with the piercing eyes, and you feel a terror grip over you. You have no choice but to flee.
Do I run?
Yes.
I
Gorn,
run into the darkness.
you turn and flee, hoping to shut the door of the farmhouse behind you before seeing once more that the trees have towered all around you. The farmhouse is but a mere speck hundreds of feet away. In the distance, a dim light from the open door. You break out into a sprint in a desperate attempt from the thing. The rain begins to fall harder, obscuring your vision until you see one of the corpses, black tendrils puppeteering it into a terrible, inhuman gallop through the broken leaves towards you. More begin to dart out from the trees behind you as the smell of iron begins to fill your nose, and a flash of lightning reveals another terrible truth. The rain is not rain, not water at all, but blood, and you are covered in it as it pours down from the sky, reeking of death. The light is close. So very close as dozens of appendages clamber through the bloody trees in pursuit of you, now accompanied by the shrill, horrific laughter of the boy chanting to you now, "Help me! Help me! Help me!" You see the door to the farmhouse. Closer. 100 feet, 50 feet, 40, 30, 20, 10. The laughter, the rain, the blood, the crunching of appendages all grow into an unendurable cacophony before... You manage to get through the doorway. You slam it behind you, breathing heavily, filled with the greatest terror you have ever felt. Your heart beats rapidly in your chest. Your lungs force as much air into your body as possible, blood dripping rhythmically onto the wooden boards. But nothing comes through the door. Would you prepare audio number 4 at 1:50, please? I'll tell you when to play it.
Yes.
Okay.
Am I muted?
No.
No. Okay.
Gorn, it is silent once more. and impossible to see. You look at a nearby torch and tinder upon a table, the only object visible to you.
May I strike the torch? May I light it up?
You light the torch and play the music.
3, 2, 1, playing.
And Gorn, you stare in horror before you at the eviscerated corpses of your companions. Otis has been dismantled, broken into chunks of shrapnel lodged into the walls. Rosani lays dead at your feet, her guts spilling out onto the floor from a long incision along her torso. Roscoe's corpse has been hanged from the string of a lyre, his eyes bulging and lifeless. The room is painted with blood, and you turn to see the perpetrator of this massacre. A dark, looming figure, ultimately familiar to you. You, a mirror image covered in head to toe with blood, and your maul taken away by the darkness hefted high, turning to look at you with a crazed, twisted face of malice and insanity. The windows shatter around you, glass flying everywhere as your mind erupts. It's not real! It's not real! It can't be real! It isn't! It isn't! Gorn, and everyone who can see the background. Gorn, you shoot out of bed, completely unable to breathe. Your heart beating like a hummingbird's wings, your chest on fire, and you see it. You see him. He is real. He is right there. The curtain's drawn. In the staring at you. Gorn! Gorn! What do you do? He's right there!
I swing my maul through the window.
You take your maul and hurl it through the window. It shatters, and everyone in the farmhouse, you are awakened to the sound of shattering glass. Those of you that can see and are in the main room, you look and you see Gorn, a terrible, horrible look ripped onto his face. The window shattered everywhere.
Do we have time to do stuff?
Gorn,
Yes.
you sit there completely, utterly frozen.
Is it still there?
Staring at the window. Your maul has just careened through it and crashed through the glass. You see no figure there. Only the light rain pouring through the now open, broken hole in the wall. But you cannot rip your eyes away from it. At this point, everyone is awake and is able to act. You all have seen Gorn, and you see him having flipped out and thrown his thing through the window.
I would like to go over to him and cast Calm Emotions.
Okay. Gorn, are you resisting this?
Yes.
Okay.
Wisdom save. Or, sorry, Charisma save.
Luckily, our boy is quite charismatic. It is a +3 to the save, Brett.
Okay. Let's see. I'll roll it for him right here. +3 to the save. The save is a 5.
No, 8.
Fails.
Oh, no, 5.
Or did I roll
So-
2?
5 total, yeah.
Brick.
So any effect, basically you can suppress any effect causing a target to be charmed or frightened. So, any effect making him frightened is now suppressed.
Okay. Gorn,
Hello.
you watch as formless figures begin to dance and run around you. One of them places its terrible dark hand upon your shoulder and as you try to move and rip away from it, a bright healing light emanates from it, and suddenly you see it is It is nothing but your companion, Rosani. Looking around, you see the rest of your companions now having, presumably, gotten up from their rest and looked around, preparing themselves for something, staring at you and looking incredulously around. You are still gripped with fear and anxiety, but you can at least regain your faculties enough to speak and perhaps move.
I would like to just crumple to the ground on my knees and just start crying.
Okay.
Heavy sobs.
Can I try to move him to like a chair so he's not on the ground by a open window with pouring rain?
Yeah, you absolutely may. Gorn, are you resisting at all?
Rosani, what do you do?
I'm just gonna try and like lift you up from underneath your arm to try and lead you to a chair.
I shake you free and punch the floorboards with anger, and then stand up on my own accord and walk to a chair and sink into it.
Hey, Goran. Let's try this again. What is going on?
I don't know.
What are...
I look up at Rosani and look into her eyes unblinking. She's watching us.
Who? You keep saying that. Who?
I kind of like, am I like at a chair or is it like a chair and a table? Like, what's the scenario?
Just been sat down in a rickety old chair.
I look down at my fists and I clench them hard enough for them to pop. And I look back up at her. You know who I talk about. Her. I dare not say her name.
Okay. How do you know? And I don't doubt you, but like, what is she doing specifically to you that is causing you to wake up and break a fucking window and just...
She's in my head. I can feel her presence. Even now, faintly. It's out there. In the forest. Waiting.
Like the elven forest? The forest we came from?
Mm-hmm. From where we came from.
The one where you lost your arm?
Yeah. Yeah, that. I swear to you that happened.
No, I believe you. It just...
No one remembers it.
No.
Am I going crazy? I look at Rosani, and there's tears streaming down Gorn's face.
The rest of you see this as well. At this point, all of you have realized that, okay, perhaps not a real threat, and you are all able to calm and collect yourselves as you listen to Rosani and Gorn's dialogue in the main room.
I think that she is messing with your mind. Purposely trying to make you think that you are going crazy, but you're not. So
You say that. But this isn't the first time.
what
This
do you
has
mean?
happened before. I
When?
know it has. Is this how he felt? Is this how Norbert felt? When he killed that woman? Did he feel crazy too? Was she in his head like this?
I don't know.
Your triad believes that there's only 3 gods. We all know that there's more. They are powerful. They are terrifying. And it seems I'm the target, one unsavory type. Maybe all of us. I don't know.
I just put my hands in my face and I don't really want to speak anymore.
About what time is it right now?
Middle of the night.
Hmm.
Okay. Um.
I'll just go get some water for the group. I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Just gonna go like find some water. I know it's raining out. I don't care. Put the hood up.
There, you have provisions that you need all inside the main room.
Okay, then yeah, I'll just grab some
Okay.
wa.
DeLorean, you head over to a corner of the main room and grab refreshing water for everyone to help calm themselves down after Gorn's most recent episode.
Just, I'll like return with a tray. I got some waters. I'll
Thanks,
just start handing them out.
DeLorean.
Otis takes one.
You know, this Magnolia tap water really is something, huh, guys?
Sure,
Yep.
says Otis. And looks at it. Puts it down next to him, just on the ground.
Did he drink it?
No.
Oh,
He's
okay.
a robot.
No, he places.
I guess I did. I suppose I did get the robot some water.
That's probably why he was arrested in the first place.
Hmm.
Hand me a cup, please.
Yep, here you go. Why don't you take Otis's as well? You're a large fella.
I slammed them both. Some
That would
quick
be
gulps.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Did you want more? Alright.
So, Gordon, remind me if I'm remembering this wrong. When we were in that forest, you said that you needed to go to a specific place to find this guy and kill him because he was the one doing her bidding.
What's your question?
I think my question was mainly just clarifying that that was true. I don't know. It seemed so. It's. I don't know what to do. God damn it.
It seems that Gorn, while our group may be targeted, you are certainly the focus. I have not had any visions like these. Do you think there's a way, a ritual or something that we could sort of undertake to cleanse you of this, or if worst comes to worst, share this burden?
I don't know. It seems seems above our pay grade, to be honest. I tried to commune with Bjorn today. It didn't work. Felt like something away my focus. Like I was being blocked. I know he's out there, but the last time we talked, I don't know.
Do I sense any like weird bullshit going on with Gorn? I know Badger kind of gets like some extra things that he doesn't really get. Is there anything like that with Gorn?
Go ahead and roll Arcana. No, religion.
Religion. Same thing. Not great. +0, so whatever I rolled. I can't find the dice anymore, it's too dark. I think it was a 6. It was a 6 or a 7.
I can lighten it up a little bit for you guys now.
I'd appreciate it. Ooh, candlelight. You'll have to teach me how to do this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
This looks beneficial.
Yes. This was the test run.
Yeah, 6.
6. Okay. DeLorean, you think hard to yourself and try to connect this to anything that you have strangely experienced yourself. But no. This seems perhaps related in a very tangential way, but doesn't really seem similar. But you're not sure. Perhaps it could be. What Gorn has told you has all been very vague. It's hard to draw any one conclusion from what he said.
Gotcha.
Okay. I do have that could help. I need to do it tomorrow.
Gorn, I'm just gonna take
Like
a shot
not-
in the dark here.
Tomorrow, but
Have
the
you
day
tried
after.
therapy?
I look at DeLorean with eyes that could kill a man.
I also do the same.
Guys, I'm just saying,
So
practical medicine.
So does the guy in the window.
I shoot him. Ha!
Now look here.
I say to him,
I don't care if you don't believe me, but mark my words. Something is happening. Bigger than this, bigger than the elves. Just think, like, the pirates, suddenly there's border conflicts, there's people showing up dead. We're sent to a faraway place to go deal with some random conflict. The way I'm looking at it, it doesn't seem so random anymore.
I believe you, Gorn. It's no secret that a recurring enemy of us, and within the group itself, I don't
can
know
say
that
his
what's
name.
happening is correct.
We can say his name.
It's true.
Norbit is a part of this as well.
It's true.
Yes, there is the enemy, but we don't know the enemy's plan. Why? Why all this? To what end? Just to torture us? Just to torture me? I don't think I'm all that important, to be honest.
Well,
Why all this?
let's keep in mind, Gorn, the enemy we're talking about here in the dominion that she rules over, you'd be a pretty reliable candidate for
Murder.
that sort of thing.
Enough beating around the bush.
More so than the rest of us.
Still, that doesn't illuminate anything.
I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of answers tonight.
Neither do I.
I think this is something we need to look deeper into when we return.
I think it'll be in our hands sooner than that. But that's just an inkling I'm getting.
Either we'll find the problem, or the problem will find us.
As you say that.
Oh shit! Curse my comedic timing. Zip zap doo.
Yeah, 762 passes through Roscoe's and kills
Oh my god.
itself and cover.
Hey.
Yes, by the
Oh
way.
hey, welcome.
Yeah, I'm a
Sorry.
little bit
You have.
confused. I'm a little bit confused, but I'm
You
pretty
came
sure
in-
I'm gathering what's going on. We're just back at the camp. We all went to sleep.
The
Gord
group-
had a fucked up nightmare
Yes.
over here.
Yeah, we're all in
That's
Robert's
accurate.
farmhouse specifically.
Yeah,
But yes.
the one after we, yeah.
Wow, conveniently sounds like a Dead by Daylight map.
Robert's
Robert's
farmhouse.
farmhouse.
Could be, yeah.
Well,
Sounds like a
Christ.
phobia map.
You guys
Me
are
either.
you guys are lucky I didn't call it Yasker's farm, you know? Woodstock. Yeah. Anyways, DeLorean, as you utter those words, you actually hear something that takes every single one of you by surprise. A polite tick 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 upon the front door.
Before anybody else can go open it, I'm going to go open it.
Oh, beat me
I would like
it.
to rise with maul in hand, ready to swing.
I'm just gonna put a
walk
finger
in front
out
of.
to Gorn.
I'm gonna walk in front of Gordon and put my hand like right in
Thank
front of
you.
him, like on his chest,
Thank you. I'm gonna
accepting
open
the
door
repercussions of my action.
slowly, like, and angling my body so whoever is out there can only see me.
All right. Rosani,
Mhm.
you
Wait, didn't Gordon lose his maul through the fucking window?
yes.
So I just wait. What? I thought I just hit the fucking
You
window with
threw
my
it
maul.
through the wall.
Pretty sure you
No.
threw it at the window.
I wanted to just hit the. I just
No,
wanted to
he's
fucking
fine.
break the window. I just wanted to swing with the maul.
Okay, that
I remember
that's-
hearing him say
that's fine. You can have swung.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to throw it. That'd be stupid.
You
He
can-
throws his
I would just-
maul.
If
I
he
was just
threw
thinking
the
that
maul,
whoever's
I
at the
would've
door
gone
has
and
the
got
maul
it
like
by now.
lodged in their skull and
Yeah.
knocking at the door. Like,
You can have swang. All
Did
right.
you guys lose something?
Anyways,
The guy with the maul on his hands, like, hey.
yeah,
what's
it's
up?
it's actually Calhoun. Hi guys, you know I just I need some advice, and I.
Kill him.
Oh, shit. By the way, bam,
He's
bam,
not
bam,
real.
boom, bam, bam, bam.
Of course.
Leave me as a babysitter, bitch. Rosanna, you open up the door, and it is quite a surprising sight indeed. You open it up, and your eyes take a moment to adjust to the darkness. It is an elf. But not your mother. Instead, it is her companion. The one that you've seen her with for some time in your visions now. You see he is covered from head to toe in a large, big green traveling cloak wrapped all around him. He's holding it tight to himself as the rain splashes against him. And he looks at you with recognition in his face, of course, upon seeing you. Rosani. Right? Oh,
No.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
cut out.
we-
You cut out
we
for a
lost
second.
you.
Okay, so 6 of one, half dozen of another. Anyways, he looks at you, and with familiarity in his face, he softly says to you, "Good morning, Rosani."
Good morning. Can I help you?
He looks over to the fort in the far distance atop the hill. There's something important I must discuss with you and your companions.
I'm gonna turn around and just like just give like the best warning glance I could to all of them before opening the door.
Okay. You all turn as the door opens and you see this elf who has clearly been Rosani's mom's companion step inside of the farmhouse. At this point, have any of you lit any sort of light up to see?
I assumed we had. I was
Okay.
gonna say something,
I
but
probably-
candles.
I mean,
Yeah, I
don't
probably would have gone
think-
around and gotten something.
Okay.
Do any of us not have dark vision? Oh wait, I don't have dark vision.
I don't have dark
Yeah,
vision.
no,
Rude.
None
None
of
of
us
us.
do.
Most of you
Gordon
do
does.
God damn it!
I think Gorn does.
I
actually
probably
don't know
could if I
do.
turned into a certain animal. But
I don't think I actually do.
Rosani
That's
forgot
right,
she
oh
I don't
can't
think
see.
I don't think
Yeah.
peppers get.
All dark vision. It's Flint, actually.
Wait, elves
Oh,
don't
that's
have it.
no, elves don't.
No,
or-
not
no.
in Orin. Only moon elves, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
To see by the
Yep.
moon.
Yes.
No, they're
Um,
like they're
They are the
they're
moon.
special.
Anyways,
There's only 3 of them.
he steps into the candlelight and thank you.
Of course.
Takes down his hood. You see he's
I sort of give like a bow as to like be the elven ambassador I said I was gonna try to pretend to be.
okay.
That's how he acknowledges it.
Yeah.
He just says okay at me.
Little does he know that elves don't bow.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, he looks at you confused for a moment and then he looks over, looks at the broken window. Gorn sees you with your maul ready, and everyone's clear, like anxious
We're
looks.
We're about to kill somebody. Looks, yeah.
Yeah,
I apologize for. We were kind of in the middle of a serious discussion before you came.
the apology is all mine, dear. I'm sorry to intrude on you so early in the morning. The others do not know that I have left. I may not have a great amount of time to relay this to you. Please, may I sit?
Of course.
Okay. He goes and takes a seat. Perhaps introductions are in order. Rosani, I've heard much of you, of course, from your mother, but The rest of you are yet unfamiliar to me.
You are to us as. You may have heard a lot about me, but I still do not know your name.
Of course, my mistake. I am Avorel. Spelled Avourel. If you'd like to write that down.
Fancy.
Yes, very. And I come packing heat.
Those are the guns, man. It's like every other fucking.
It's in the delinquents because there are actually like guns, and so all the time it's just
It's real.
He sits himself down and kind of clasps his hands together. He looks over at you, Rosani, a dear friend of Rosani's mother, Elian.
Just a dear friend.
I understand times have been difficult for you. He
I
looks
want
up.
to insight check that.
Really?
Yes.
What are you trying to do?
I want to see if he's more than a friend, like Rosani asked.
I guess, yeah, go ahead.
I want to see if he's dodging the question.
Obvious question.
Dodging the question. 20.
It's probably,
Oh,
Like a 25 knowing you.
29.
yeah, he's
Ah,
probably
I was-
dodging the question.
Okay.
So glad we got that out of the way.
My name is... is he still introducing himself?
Yes.
Good.
He looks over at you, Rosani. I know it has been quite some time for most of you. There is much that has happened, Rosani. I am not the one to tell you it.
Great. Does everybody else want to introduce themselves?
I'm DeLorean. I also sit and then kind of do like the half bow. I do like a half bow this time. I'm like, is that better?
All right. He he looks.
Do these people, is handshaking a thing in Orin?
He looks at Averell looks at you, DeLorean, and with a quizzical look upon his face. You are not familiar with our customs. Were you born outside the forest?
Yes. I grew up in the city of Paradine, and I've recently become an apprentice ambassador to the Elven forests. I'm not very at my job. I'll be perfectly honest with you, my guy.
He means recently. This is his.
I was in real estate a week ago.
Real estate.
My
he
properties
works
came under
himself.
siege and are being occupied by a group of pirates. I haven't had the best of luck recently. They're not paying rent.
He looks at you, Rosani. I don't understand.
Just, you don't have to really remember anything other than his name.
The king thought that it would be a good gesture if I came along, despite knowing that this mission was perfectly accomplishable with the people I am with.
Anyway, I'm gonna look around for the other members to start talking.
Someone start talking before I keep going.
Please, oh God.
Roscoe Danrick, pleasure.
Likewise.
I put down my maul. I don't think I would have it in the air for this long, anyways, but for the sake of continuity.
I'm Colt Gorn.
He nods at you. He looks to you, Kevin.
Quick thing.
Yeah.
While they're doing introductions, DeLorean is going to get up, go get more waters,
Oh my god.
take out the rapier, evade it, and put it in his pocket out of the room.
Good idea.
Okay. You were able.
In whatever best way I can conceal. I have like an orb. I'm trying to hide a softball in like a jean pocket.
Just a question before I say anything.
Ooh, you know what?
Do
In the
I-
hood.
Go ahead and roll for stealth. DeLorean and Kevril, go ahead.
Do I actually have I seen any of these elves before?
Roll an insight check.
17.
I'm gonna roll this white one.
DeLorean, you feel that you were able to conceal it well from Averell.
I put the orb in my hood.
14.
Okay. Kevril, you look at this man, Averell. You see he's young, certainly younger than 150. He's a wood elf.
Okay.
But by the way he holds himself and speaks, he has a certain air of pomp and circumstance to him. Seems a little more, though the elven people are all, of course, refined and their culture is incredibly different from everywhere else you've seen so far. He seems a cut above.
But I've never seen him before.
That is correct.
Okay. I'll just say, Kevril, nod my head, not move any closer.
Pleasure. Flint and Otis introduce themselves. With Otis. You think Otis would go in for the hug, guys? I think he would.
Yes, he
Yep.
would.
Yeah.
Okay.
He definitely would.
With Otis going in for the hug and Averell awkwardly. He looks at you again, Rosani, with a
He's just learning about the world.
That's an interesting thing to say.
bink, bink, bink.
What's to say?
And Flint. You see, he looks hard at Flint for a moment. And then breaks his gaze.
Again with the waters. I got some waters for our discussions. Here you go. I just start handing them out. I got another one for Otis. I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Averell
You-
takes it from you, but he simply sets it by him.
You said you had something important to tell all of us.
That's correct. Rosani, I cannot speak the words your mother should utter. But know that she is doing what she believes to be right. What all of us believe to be right.
Know that that is what we are doing as well.
That is what I had hoped to hear from you. Elian is hesitant to begin negotiations with you and the humans. She believes it's another tried and true, how do I put it in your tongue? Fake diplomacy tactic. We've seen it before. To lure us out and slaughter us. I've tried to speak with her, but know that I am cautious myself. She has no reason to believe that the Lord here and his retinue have any other plan. Especially given the war that your kingdom currently wages.
Out of character, remind me again, do we know of a war that our kingdom is waging?
Rosani,
Or am I just forgetting something very vital?
the biggest war that you can think of when anyone really mentions the war is the war in the south, in the mountains. But that's been over for over 6 years.
Probably here. I'm sorry. Do you mean the war between the humans and the orcs? Is that the war you're referring to?
Precisely.
That war has been over for
6 years.
yeah.
Roughly
Long
6
time.
years now.
He looks at you, Gorn. 6 years?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that can't be right, but
Why would I be here, a half-orc, if not for the war being over? Think of that.
he looks at you hard, and you see him. He's clearly working through this information in his mind.
Averell, do your people suspect the war to still be going on?
DeLorean, there are quite a few things that our people clearly do not know about. You were not born in our realm. But Rosani, you will remember clearly that our people have no written history. Everything that we know, our collective knowledge, is shared to us by the amanuensi of the Dominion. They are our teachers and mentors as we age, our source of all information. They take from our regional capitals and spread what information the Dominion finds fit for its people to know.
Sorry, don't mean to jump in here. Are you meaning to tell me that any information that the government distributes all information,
Yes.
and no one in your territories was like, "Hey, hold on a second. This doesn't make sense to us."
It is precisely
I
that.
don't mean to talk down about your peoples,
It's
my
a very
peoples, our peoples.
cultural thing.
It seems like a bad idea.
He
I
looks
don't
at you.
hope you take offense to that.
He looks at you, DeLorean, and that is precisely the reason why we are here. Our history has been given through word of mouth for, well, our entire existence as a people. From the very first generations of elves, it has been passed down to everyone. The Dominion, well, it is old, but not as old as the forest itself. We've had no reason to suspect that they have spoken for any other than our lunar lords and lady. But the past centuries have weakened many an elf's faith in what they truly represent.
So you left because of this. Did you leave intentionally, or were you driven out?
It's a little bit of both, really. I'm ashamed to admit it. I once served the Dominion myself. I aided in securing the border between our realm and the outside world. We were told that the forest was much too dangerous for any non-elves, people not born of this world and created for the maintenance of our holy lands. It would be too unsafe for them to pass in and potentially be hurt or taint what we have. Rosani, I first met your mother whilst I still served them. She appeared near the border, a simple village, likely the same as the one you grew up in, with admittedly shaky claims of business there. The way she spoke about people and what she had seen, how people she knew had been treated, what she believed the Dominion actually represented. Of course, it's nothing but fantasy and hearsay, conjecture, but I started to notice some of what she spoke rang true. I caught her while she was attempting to smuggle several of our people out of the forest. Well, I was half of the mind to report her to my superior and have her dragged away in chains like I should have. But, well, when she spoke of you and your brother, Castian, I said nothing. I allowed her to leave, knowing that she would return for more. I agreed to help her. I do not know if there are many like us, if there's anyone else who's realized if the Dominion is withholding information from us, what they're doing. We do not know if Lunar Lord Niazin has betrayed us, if he is being held hostage by the Dominion, along with the other Moon Elves. All we know is that we have seemingly been abandoned by them. The Dominion exerts more power every day. Once we were explorers, cartographers, adventurers. Now those who leave the forest never return. If they're even to make it to the border. We have so very little information about what is happening and why it's happening. I cannot answer you more than this, but we know that something is wrong, and your mother and I have banded together, and we vowed to help those who wish to leave. That is what we are doing here now.
Okay.
Well,
Um,
first things first. Don't mean to interrupt, Rosani. Are you people injured? Are they in need of supplies, clothing? I can have winter clothing provided very soon.
Yes, he looks at you. Yes, by my mark, it's meant to be summer in your lands. Why is it so cold?
Climate
welcome to the Gale
change.
Plains.
Well, yes, our people are not well adapted to this climate, but I have a question for you, then, if you would not mind.
Of course.
You say the war is over for some time now. Oh, sorry, I think I had a connection blip. Anyways, you say the war has been over for some time now. That is correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Mm.
Some of my people, in fact, the sons and daughters, the fathers and mothers of some of those within the fort now have fought with your people here. He gestures towards, there is really no one human here at all. So he gestures out towards Magnolia. Under Lunar Lord Nizen to help assist, what is the word? The Unifier. King Ashen Alyrite. But of course that was... Well, that must have been hundreds of years ago. I myself was not around then, but some of these men and women, they know the colors and coats of arms of your people well. When we first arrived here weeks ago, we had hoped to slip in undetected, rest, and then continue on south towards the Grand Pasture. One night, however, we were attacked by some... I do not know who exactly, but a mage, clearly clad in humanity's colors and coat. He of my people killed several as well. Led away. We have not seen him since, but some of those in the infirmary swear that they can feel that he's still there.
I'm gonna look to Gorn.
I kind of snap out of the stupor that I was in.
Can you tell me what he looks like?
I caught but a glimpse of him, but he was tall, dark hair, scars upon his face, flowing robes, metal armament. His details were unclear to me in the darkness, but the blue of humanity flew clearly that night.
Does this picture remind me of the man who stole my arm?
It absolutely does.
If any of you are looking at Gorn,
I am.
just a wave of relief comes across his face, and he just sinks back down to the chair.
I think that's a good sign.
Well, I might not be crazy after all.
I don't know if that's quite a good
Don't
sign.
think none of us really thought you were.
You know this man?
Gorn
Yes.
has had an interaction with him.
He
Um,
immediately stands up and walks towards you, Gorn. Do you know where he is? His face hardens.
If I did, he would already be dead at my feet.
He turns away.
I can assure you that man is no ally to humanity.
Why does he wear their colors?
It's been a couple months IRL since that session.
Yeah.
Not- I know all the bits and bobbles about this guy, right? Like, I know his faction, let's just say.
You have a general idea of his faction, yeah.
Do I know the funny word that they call themselves by?
Yeah, Tempest.
Yeah, okay.
He's a vestige of the war. A sorcerer, by my estimations. They call themselves Tempests. They should have died. He should not exist. Long ago, my youth, when I still lived in the foothills of the mountains,
Correct me if I'm wrong on this event, Brett.
Yeah, go on.
but I heard of a battle, the massacre of Khotan Gorge.
Am I right on that?
Yes.
Awesome.
It was said that humanity's mages were wiped off the map.
Badger, actually, go ahead and roll a history check.
Well-studied Badger rolls another
Sorry,
6.
DeLorean.
6.
6. Okay. You hear Gorn make mention of this. Rosanna, you lived amongst the humans for some time. Go ahead and roll history as well, actually.
Yeah, because I would have been living in Magnolia by the time the war ended. 13.
Okay. DeLorean, you have heard nothing of the sort about some massacre at a gorge.
Didn't really
Rosani,
keep up with it.
Rosani, you have heard mention of Tempests before? A supposed group of sorcerers in humanity's armies. But you know for you never really heard from anybody what actually happens to them or how it had occurred. Really, most people, if you had ever asked, kind of avoided saying anything about it.
Okay.
You do recall from recently that the King's Spy Master Levin briefly mentioned the massacre of Khotan Gorge when he tasked you with searching for some sort of court maid to the king, but frankly, he gave you very little detail beyond that. But Gorn, for whatever reason, you are familiar enough with the event. He looks at, anyways, Averell looks at you, Gorn.
Hey, Brett, actually, before you speak,
Yes.
could you pull me into the DM channel?
Yeah, I can. Give me a second, and I will. Alright, we'll be back. Hold on. You're gonna see this in the stream anyways, but that's okay. Hello?
I guess it is in the stream.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I want to know, I need to know when my memory cuts off and when, like, really, because we have mentioned, like, bits and baubles of the story.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I know that, you know, Erica exists, who's a sorcerer, but wasn't around. She was too young for that time, period.
Yeah.
And I mentioned her a couple sessions ago.
Right. So I will tell you that you remember this. You remember up until basically the ends of the events of your little short story,
Okay.
whatever that is in your head. And then there is just really
And then after that, it's done.
yeah, and then like confusion and like vague memories until
Okay.
basically like a few months before you went to Paradine and actually joined the party.
Okay, because in the short story, you know that the mage at arms character, the sorcerer,
Yeah.
Gorn ends up killing him in single combat,
Okay, yes.
and Tybalt, the other dude,
Yeah.
the even worse guy,
Yeah.
or potentially. That's up to you to decide if he's actually dead or not. But like, would he remember that? If not, then we can just glance over it. I don't want to take up too much time of the section. I know we only got an hour left.
Who'd he kill first is my question.
The mage. Well, actually, you know what? Was it? Yeah, no, it's the mage. It's the mage first.
You perhaps have a thought of it, but it's all fuzzy.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's all I need to know.
Okay, thank you. Back we go.
Do
All
it
right.
that way.
Welcome
Yeah.
back. Anyways,
Hi.
Well, welcome back.
Averell looks at all of you. I suppose it matters very little to me. If you truly trust your word, then I believe you. But Rosani, your mother, and others in the fort would not be so quick to trust.
So how do we prove it to them?
He looks out the broken window. For some time.
You cut out.
Oh, sorry.
Say that again.
He
looked out
looks
the window.
out the broken window for some time. And he does not turn to speak to you again as he says, I do not know. I may... He stops. He turns and goes to you, Rosani. He walks up closely to you. You give your word, daughter of Hellion, that everything that your companions have spoken is true, that you mean us no harm.
I mean my word. And my word is that everything that we have told you tonight is factual. Completely no holding back the truth.
Roll a persuasion check.
You're so good at these.
Wait. Can I help? And I have a means of helping.
Try it.
If I may,
Turns to look at you.
tell me, Elf, what gods do you believe in?
What gods do you know of?
Do you
A
say
better
that?
question, yes.
The elves were created by Terra, placed in service of the forest, and to be led by 3 of our best and greatest, divinely chosen. I and many others worship her and her alone. Though we have heard tell of the worship of other deities. Whether or not these are substantiated, while it may be understood by some of us, it truly matters very little. We can trace within 2 to 3 generations our divinely chosen. All 3 yet live, and could speak it to us themselves, if they were to speak to us. It does not matter what other gods there are to us. Terra is my people's lady, our guiding light. Life. She's given us our home in this world, and tasked us to protect it.
I have 2 reasons why it should be important to you, Elf. Because there are other gods in this world. Good ones and bad. Beyond Terra. Many of us here follow our own path and worship gods. As you know, Rosani is a worshiper of Arabella. Our friend Flint here, the dwarf, he's a paladin of Hiriat. I myself am no cleric or paladin, but I am a champion of one such god. His name is Bjorn. He is honor-bound, as am I. On his name and my own, I promise you that this is truth. The second reason. I have had a run-in with your little friend, as we've already discovered. I believe that I solely believe, I cannot speak for my companions on this matter, that one of the bad gods is meddling in these affairs. And if what you say is true, I think we both have information that could benefit both sides. That's all I can do to help.
Great, Rosani, roll persuasion with advantage.
Thank you.
Yep. I knew you'd need it.
That should be like a 3 and a 4.
Okay.
I was close.
Persuasion 12.
12?
14 minus 2.
Oh,
Jesus.
wow.
This is. Yeah.
You're lucky he's basically your stepdad.
I know.
He looks at you. You speak of these things just as your mother does. I don't know if you realize that.
What does that mean?
Well, frankly, your mother is also a terrible liar. Yes, I believe you.
Okay.
But my belief seldom is not enough. I hold enough sway where I can convince Elian and the others to hold parley with whomever it is that rules over this land. I can bring them to the table. I cannot guarantee what their demands shall be, but I can assist in the deliberation for all of us as best as I can.
Thank you.
We should warn you. The Duke is a shrewd man, though we have only just met him. I suggest you come prepared to bargain.
You say these people here, what do they believe in? You must excuse me, as I have already very much put on display. Our knowledge of the outside world is greatly limited.
And specifically talk of deities. The vast majority, if not all of the Gale Plains, worship what they call the Triad. It is a trinity of gods between Kiriat, Arabella, and Terra. And while most places in the Gale Plains view them all, worship and view them all as together, Magnolia is a special place where they have worship of all three in one building but separated. So if things were to go well, I would encourage you to maybe stay in the area, and it may prove a better transition into life in the human kingdom with that small version of familiarity.
Terra is among the Triad. Just throwing that out there.
That's literally what I just said.
Did you? I
yeah.
must have missed that part.
Yes, quite. Well, if they are...
She's a good one.
Yes.
If they share at least some of our belief, as you think, and this man represents this, I see no reason why we may not come to a conclusion. He looks out the window once more. The storm is breaking.
Should back to your people.
Averil, did you want me to send, like, those coats? Or those wares? Should I get those coming?
We can perhaps bring them to our meeting and have
might take a little longer than that.
He
Talking
looks
volume.
He looks at you, DeLorean, and no, it is best for that transaction to occur authentically. It may, how do I say it in your tongue?
If
It
If you
may
need to-
look,
me to translate, I can help as well.
yes, it may look bad if my people were to know that I was here.
I understand.
One last question.
I will wait till after our discussion then.
Yes.
One of your kinsmen in the forest, locked behind its borders. You paint a bleak picture. You must have plans for the future. Saving the few does not save the many.
He sighs. You're right. Once this situation is resolved, it was our plan, Elian and mine, to return and do what we can. Perhaps there are others who are like-minded. I do not know, perhaps those hold more sway than we could. Truth be told, Gorn, our outlook is bleak. For now, this is all that we can do. The Dominion holds near absolute power. We are but two.
While it means little, I'm sympathetic of your cause.
Yes.
I believe I'm beginning to understand.
I should depart.
Safe travels.
Yes, fellows, it was good to meet you. I am happy to hear that perhaps we do have allies outside the forest's borders. And
Of course.
Rosani, dear. Again, I cannot say the words that she should, but your mother loves you dearly. If nothing else is true, I know this.
It was nice to meet you outside of that emotional situation. I'm glad I got this chance before going back into another emotional situation.
Yes. If all goes well, I will see you in the coming days. And
Best
Gorn,
of luck.
he looks at you, Gorn, and you. Keep an eye out.
Give him a nod.
Thank you. I shall depart. And he goes to leave.
Bye.
Great.
See you.
He opens up the door as the rain is continuing to come down, and at this point has kind of made a puddle in the broken window too. But he puts his head over his hood and closes the door.
Well, is it still the middle of the night?
Yep.
Seemed like an inopportune hour to talk to us.
It seemed like the only opportune hour.
Yeah, I
to
suppose
talk
he
to
was
us.
hiding, wasn't he?
Yes.
Okay. Rosani,
Hmm?
I'm embarrassed to ask.
Mhm.
Kevril as well, I suppose. Could you teach me the very bare minimum information I need to do? Shit.
Yes.
Is it not a bow? I could have
Right.
swore it was a bow.
Could we teach him Elven traditional greetings?
You absolutely may.
Okay.
And if none of you have anything else to do,
It's a curtsy the whole time? That's been the difference?
if none of you have anything else to do, then we are going to continue with our long rest. So you may all take a long rest. And given
I guess I do have one thing to do. I'm gonna
yes,
stop the recording ball.
great.
Good.
That would be a very awkward 8 hours in between.
Yeah.
I guess I do have a question. Do I know how this shit works? Am I able to just hit record and like continue going? Or is it gonna like overwrite all we just got? Or what's the deal here?
You are
He didn't
really
send instructions.
he explained that he doesn't totally know himself, but you just can record apparently as much as you want.
Okay.
So hopefully
Hopefully
we
we
can press
keep
record
all that.
again and it doesn't overwrite it.
Okay. I don't even know how you clear this thing.
It's
Maybe
three
dispel magic.
it's 3 fast taps and then 1 long press, and then you wait for 2 seconds.
You have to
And then you have to enter the
play
Konami
Morse
code.
code into it.
Yeah, then you throw it up in the air, and you gotta throw a 65-mile-per-hour curveball to the bottom left corner of the box. Anyways, after an incredibly eventful night, Gorn, with your terrible vision and subsequent affirmation that perhaps you are not completely crazy,
Yay.
Rosani, your interesting meeting with your mother's companion,
Mm-hmm.
and all of you, the knowledge of why the elves are there in the fort, that they were attacked, and what little they know about the outside world and what has driven them to come to it, all swirls within your minds as you finally lay down to finish your rest and hopefully awaken in the morning to good news from the front. But that will, of course, have to wait until next session, because that is where we are going to end Collective Session 68. So thank you all for coming. If you're watching us for the first time, we hope you enjoyed, and we hope you continue to watch us. If you are one of those people that's continuing to watch us, I'm glad we haven't scared you away yet. And I hope you like Alfred Hitchcock soundtracks. And if you're
Yes.
a player who is watching this either to write a summary or just because you want to, I'm gonna get you. I'm in your house. You can't stop me. I'm too fast.
Gorn is real.
Yes, Gorn is real.
Gorn is real.
Gorn is real, and he sent me an AIM instant message.
Or
Wow.
Israel?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, this has been the Collective
What
Session
about
68.
Fort Iran?
Thank you very much for coming. Have a good night, and goodbye. Bye. All right.